Hinduism is not a single book, a single prophet, or a single set of rules. It's a civilization-sized conversation, Sanatana Dharma, the eternal way, a tapestry of philosophy, ritual, aesthetics, and practice that has evolved for thousands of years. But when a tradition this vast is viewed through a simple on-off lens, one god or many, scripture or none, saved or not saved myths multiply. Today on Hinduism Unveiled, we'll debunk 5 of the most common misconceptions with clarity, sources, and respect for the lived reality of millions. You've probably heard the number 330 million gods. Sounds wild until you discover this famous figure likely comes from a Sanskrit mistranslation. Ancient texts mention Triyastram Sati Koti Devatar. The word Koti can mean 10 million, or class divided by type divided by supreme. In context, many scholars read it as 33 principal categories, not a census of literal deities, but even that is only the surface. At the heart of Hindu thought is Brahman, the one limitless ultimate reality from which everything arises and in which everything appears. To relate to the infinite, the tradition allows many doorways. Saguna Brahman, the divine, with attributes, appears to us as Deva and Devi forms, like Vishnu, Shiva, Devi, Ganesha, Lakshmi, Saraswati. Different forms, one source. Think sunlight passing through stained glass, it's still one light. That's why you'll hear the Rigveda's famous line, Ekam Sat, Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. Truth is one. The wise speak of it in many ways. So is Hinduism, monotheism, or polytheism? The honest answer is, neither box fits. It's better called monism at the philosophical level, one reality, and henotheism in practice. You can devote yourself to one form as supreme without denying other forms. That's how a Vaishnava and a Shaiva can both be fully authentic and fully Hindu. Hindus don't worship millions of separate gods. They venerate many manifestations of the one. The word idol smuggles in a judgment: false, empty, superstitious. The Sanskrit term is Murti, which means embodiment or manifestation. A Murti is not random stone. Through ritual and mantra, a temple image is consecrated in Prana Pratistha, the establishment of life force. The idea is simple and profound. If the divine pervades all things, it can be invoked and concentrated in a form as a focal point for devotion and meditation. Think of the Murti as a sacred interface. The material form is not the endpoint, it's the meeting point. When devotees bow, they're not worshipping granite. They're honoring the presence that has been invited to dwell there, the same presence that also dwells in you. A helpful analogy: water is formless. A glass lets you hold and drink it. The Murti is the glass. The divine presence is the water. No one confuses the glass for the water, but without a vessel, most of us can't drink. Murti Puja isn't idol worship. It's a refined spiritual technology to make the formless approachable to the heart. Here's where precision matters. 2 different ideas often get blurred: Varna and Jati. Varna is a theoretical 4-fold framework in scripture describing social functions: teachers divided by priests, administrators divided by protectors, producers, and service providers based on qualities and actions. Jati is the birth-based community reality that developed over centuries, thousands of local endogamous groups, too often hardened into hierarchy and discrimination. When people say caste is religious, they usually point to Jati, the lived, stratified structure, then retro-read it into scripture. But in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says clearly, the 4-fold order was created according to qualities and actions, not birth. History being history, societies drifted. Jati politics co-opted religious language. Later, legalistic texts tried to justify what already existed on the ground. The outcome was real suffering, including the horror of untouchability. Modern Hindu teachers across traditions have condemned birth-based discrimination as a betrayal of dharma, not its essence, and many lead active reform and service. The core vision is merit and duty, not heredity. The abuse is historical and social, not a timeless mandate of Sanatana Dharma. The ethic underneath the stereotype is Ahimsa, non-injury, honoring the same divine spark in all beings. Many texts praise a sattvic diet, and millions of Hindus choose vegetarianism as a path of compassion. But uniform rule? No. Practice varies by region, community, and personal conviction. Contemporary surveys show less than half of Indian Hindus identify as strictly vegetarian, while many others follow partial restrictions such as abstaining on holy days or avoiding certain meats. In short, there is no single Hindu diet. There is a principle Ahimsa applied with diversity. And the cow? Revered. Yes. Worshipped as a deity? No. In agrarian life, the cow became a symbol of nurturing, giving milk, ghee, fertilizer, even fuel more than she takes. Honoring the cow expresses gratitude and care for life, not the defecation of an animal. Vegetarianism is honored but not mandatory. Reverence for the cow is respect, not literal god worship. Karma doesn't mean fate. The root Kri means to do. Karma is the law of cause and effect for intentions, thoughts, and actions. It's not a cosmic judge handing out punishments, it's a neutral principle. Choices have consequences. Hindu philosophy explains karma with a practical model. Sasita, the storehouse of past actions. Prarabdha, the slice of karma now ripened, shaping fixed circumstances. Kriyamana, the karma you create now through present choices. You can't recall the arrow you already shot, but you can choose how you breathe, aim, and shoot the next. Far from fatalism, karma empowers agency. You are where your past brought you. You will go where your present choices lead. And beyond better circumstances lies the ultimate goal, moksha, liberation from the cycle altogether through self-knowledge and God realization. If karma were fate, freedom wouldn't be possible. In Hinduism, it's the point. Karma is not a prison, it's a dashboard. Your present remains the steering wheel. When we reduce Hinduism to many gods, idols, caste, vegetarian rules, and fate, we miss the living core, a plural, philosophical tradition that invites inquiry, practice, and transformation. One reality, many forms. One presence, many interfaces. One ethic, many applications. One law of action, yet freedom at the heart. If this helped clear the fog, support the channel with a like, share it with a friend who loves religion and philosophy, and subscribe to Hinduism Unveiled. Tell us in the comments, which myth did you hear most growing up, and what would you like us to debunk next?